Hello and welcome back to Bible Quiz TV. Day one of Nationals 2024 is done. How did things land? How did people do today? And what can we expect from day two? I think day two there's going to be a lot of shifting in the results, especially in the championship division because of what teams played what teams on day one. Averages were high. I think some averages are going to come down tomorrow, and some averages are going to increase tomorrow. So let's get into the stats, all right? So what I want to first cover here is the round here of actually let's do this one first. Okay, so here are the rest of the rounds of the competition. We have the red teams here are teams that today averaged 160 points or higher. The yellow is teams that averaged 130 points or higher, rounding up. And then the white ones are teams that have scored below 130 points. So we can assume the tougher matches will be against red teams. These are the critical matches for the top teams going for that top spot. However, really, any one of these teams could take down one of the top-ranked teams. It's not far-fetched. There's so many good teams. Even near the bottom of the championship division, there's a lot of good teams that are there. So let's look at Dublin. They are playing in the morning. They have a ton of hard matches. They have all of these really tough matches. Now, this is good and bad. This will settle the dust. And after about halfway through tomorrow, we're going to see kind of where Dublin's landing. Right now, they're first. We will see where they land, like the first round after lunch, after they play Naperville. It's going to be a little bit more clear if they have that number one spot locked in. Although tomorrow they also play Sparta after lunch, Braeswood, Precious Ladies, and Utica, which won't be easy matches. And then the last day, they're playing two of the teams that have lower averages. So if they finish tomorrow strong, they're going to have the potential of locking in that top spot. Now, Oconto has an easier day tomorrow, and San Diego has a fair. It's medium, well, about the same as Oconto. So, and about the same as what they had today. Sparta, though, look at what Sparta has going for them tomorrow. They have one red team, 4 of the yellow teams, and 3 of the white teams. So they are probably going to see a pretty big increase in their point totals and maintain or move up in their placement this next day. And then they do play Dublin, and that'll be a critical match of the day. And then on Thursday, Thursday, they're going to play Oconto. So Houston Braeswood Ladies, kind of, they have 3 tough teams and 2 or 3 red teams and 2 of the yellow teams. And then so they're going to have a medium day. About how they did today is probably about how they're going to do tomorrow. Trinity Black has a fairly tough day. They're playing 4 of the higher ranked teams and 3 of the non-ranked. So they only have 1 of the lower ranked point total teams right now that they're going to be playing tomorrow, which means that Trinity Black, they're going to have a tough day. Trinity 1, they're going to have a tough day. They're playing 5 of the top. There's 6 teams that have 160 plus average. Trinity One is playing 5 of those tomorrow. So their point totals are likely to drop. And but at the same time, Trinity One, if they start bumping out and taking out all of these teams, many of them are ranked higher than them right now, then their placement's going to continue to rise while the others will drop. Trinity One is a very tough day tomorrow. Springfield, or the Ramses, they have a fairly easy day tomorrow. They're playing some of the teams that have lower point totals. So I believe the Ramses they're really going to climb in their point totals tomorrow significantly. And their rank will also climb throughout tomorrow. Bothell, they're playing 5 hard or the higher ranked team. So 5 hard matches, and they're going to play the Ramses. I think the Ramses, about halfway through the day, will probably get their scores above 160, so they would be re-ranked to red. And Sparta as well will probably be re-ranked to red because they have a group of matches where it's likely that they're going to score a lot of points. Marietta, the same thing is happening with them. They don't have very many difficult matches tomorrow with some of those top scoring teams this year. So we're going to see Marietta's points and probably ranking climb a lot tomorrow. And San Jose, same thing. One of the top point scoring teams in that red classification tomorrow, but then they are playing the Ramses, which will probably rank into that red, and they're going to be playing the Brookbanks, which is going to be a tough match as well. So and Utica there is going to be a tough match. So that's the general breakdown of the day. I put together this list here, if you can read it there. All right. Is that pretty big? That's fairly big. I might increase the size just up to 200 there. Okay, so here's the deal with the day. Dublin is playing 8 of the upper ranked teams, 4 and 4, 4 red, 4 yellow. Oconto 3 and 4. San Diego 3 and 3, so they're playing 3 red teams, 3 yellow teams. Sparta's playing only 2 red teams and 4 yellow teams. Houston Precious Ladies is 3 and 3. Trinity Black is 4 and 3. Trinity One is 5 and 3. They're basically they're going to have a really tough day tomorrow. It's going to be, but the dust will settle. Like if they can land win after win, which we saw last year, they just kept, last 2 years really, Trinity has done an amazing job at landing all of these difficult games against difficult teams. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them do very well tomorrow, but it is going to be a tough day. Springfield, or the Ramsey family, they're only playing 2 of the red teams and 4 yellow teams. Bothell, 5 and 3, just like Trinity One. I think it's going to be very difficult for Bothell tomorrow. I think, with their point totals where they're at, and they're steering clear from the 30s, which is a good strategy in part because a lot of those 30s are a gamble. They're a risk. Let the other team take the risk, and then you're securing less loss on the point totals because you don't have those 30s where you're getting, 30% of them wrong, trying to get the concordance and trying to get the longer quotes. But I think that's going to end up hurting them when they're playing these the 5 of the top 6 point totaling teams. Marietta's going to have a good day. They're only playing 2 and 4. And San Jose, 1 red ranked team and 6 yellow teams. So San Jose will likely maintain or climb in their point totals and in their ranking, but we'll see how the day goes. Dublin, honestly, is likely to gain a loss or two tomorrow, and Oconto, the same thing. Trinity 1, probably the same thing as well. So we're looking at probably multiple losses, 3 or maybe 4 in the number 1 spot by the end of the tournament. So if you have 4, the teams with 4 losses right now are not out of the running yet. I think that it is very likely that Dublin, Oconto, San Diego, some of these teams that don't have the 4 losses yet could end up there by the end of tomorrow. Sparta is likely to go up in ranking. As I said, the averages are going to increase. Ramsey's the same thing. Bothell will probably drop down in rank. Marietta will climb a lot in point totals and in rank. San Jose, the same thing. And Houston Ladies, I think it's going to be about how they've been. So like Oconto and San Diego and the Houston Precious Ladies, they are playing a day tomorrow similar to today. So we can expect similar results from those days. In Challenger Division, all right, Justin Clicquot, if I'm saying his last name right, he grabbed 141 average, which is so incredible. Oh my goodness. We saw he had a very high average at regionals. The pre-nationals tournament, it was a bit lower. But here he was ready for championship division. His team ended up in Challenger, and he is cleaning house, just dominating on those 30s as well. And it's at this point, he's got like a 250-point lead on second place. It's going to be really hard for anyone to catch him for first. If he maintains a decent pace tomorrow, doesn't have super bad games, he's going to land in that top spot. It's going to get really solidly locked in for him. The top teams in Challenger, Bellevue's on top with 1 loss. Marietta is tied on top with 1 loss. And then Lexington is down on the list, but I highlight them because their average is way above all the other teams at a 204-point average. So I think that Lexington will probably climb the rankings. Even though they're down right now, I think they're going to climb the rankings tomorrow, especially if they can land wins on some of the critical matches. Championship individuals. So Jaden, I'm thinking his point totals are likely, his average is likely to drop, but maybe not by that much because his accuracy is at 88%. So even though he's playing tougher teams, there's most tough teams will have one quizzer who's going to dominate on the 30s and 20s, and they can shut other good quizzers out completely, especially if they're on fire. But there's 12 upper point value questions. So even if Jaden doesn't dominate on the 30s and beat all of the other teams to the 30s, he can clean house on the 20s and land 120-point games, which is his average, which is more than enough to keep him in the lead. Even though he's playing top teams, I don't know if his points are going to drop that much. I do think it's probably going to drop maybe by 5 or so, but we'll see how the day turns out. Now, Madison Day, she's probably going to maintain about where she's at. She's going to have a similar day tomorrow as she had today, so she's probably going to stay in that top 5, maybe even stay in that second place position. Elizabeth Lee, the same thing as well. I think that they have about the same day tomorrow as today. Sawyer Curtis, though, I'm predicting his average will probably jump by at least 10 points. They're playing teams where I believe he's going to rack up a lot of points. As long as he plays, a good game, he gets good sleep, all of that tonight, I believe he's going to do really good tomorrow. Shaylee Powell plays a lot of tough teams. I don't know if I even talked about Naperville. Oh, yeah, because Naperville is ranked lower than the top 11 teams right now. And Naperville, I went through the teams that they're playing, and they are playing some pretty tough teams tomorrow. And so I would say, based on the teams that she did play today versus the team she's going to play tomorrow, her point total average may drop by around 10 points because there's a lot of tough teams that Naperville's playing tomorrow. The Ramseys, they have a team gameplay kind of like the Brookbanks where they have multiple, like all of their quizzers go for 10s, 20s, and 30s. So it's a madhouse trying to play them because, none of the questions are freed up when someone quizzes out. They just keep blasting you all the whole round. So, but Megan being in the 6th place spot, I'm not sure how her point totals are going to change because of the strategy in gameplay and team play that the Ramseys have, that they pick, which does work very well. Steve Joy's average will climb a lot. I would predict as much as 20 points. I think he'll break a 100-point average probably by the end of tomorrow. Camden Haney, he has a hard day. They're playing 8 good teams. Like every round's going to be difficult. So chances are his average will likely drop a little bit from today's average. So there's the update for today. Let me see if I can pull up I want to pull up the actual stats from the tournament there. Is he going to let me? It's not letting me. Okay. Yeah. Tomorrow I'll also look at the 10-point players. There's a lot going on the 10-point game and the 10-point game front, and I'll cover more about that tomorrow and see kind of where some of those quizzers are faring. And then the day after tomorrow, we'll talk about that. If you want to message me, either on Discord or something, I'd love to know some of the rookies for the year, and especially the ones that have been doing well this year, and we can talk about it. It's hard to know for me. It's hard to know which quizzers are first-year quizzers here at Nationals. So feel free to message me on Discord and or text message me if you have my number, and let me know some of the rookies for the year, and we can look at how they've been doing at the tournament, and we'll talk about that as well on Thursday. All right, guys, I love you. I hope you get good sleep and have a wonderful day. Tomorrow, we will see you tomorrow afternoon for another update.